Hey everyone, today I'm showing you exactly how I made this viral Christian podcast edit in Premiere Pro.
You know how the scripture says after Judas committed suicide, he was the son doomed for perdition. So we know that Judas didn't make it to glory. I say this to my church all the time. I said, what year did that happen? It was around AD 33, around the year Christ died. That means Judas would have been there for 2 millennia and he'll be there for another 2 millennia and another 2 and another 2. And then if we take everything Jesus said, that the worm doesn't die, men gnash their teeth for pain, they're chewing their tongue, they're conscious of their suffering, and they're not going to get out. You know how tormenting it is to be in a place separated from God? Now you're separated from his grace, you're tormented. You have a body fit for destruction.
Wow. If you want the full project file, the text animation presets, and all the assets I used, I'll leave the link in the description. Go into sequence settings, change the frame size to 1080 by 1920 for that vertical frame. Select over all of the clips, scale the size up so there's no black borders. You're going to want to go into project, click on new item, grab an adjustment layer, click OK, and then drag it onto the timeline. By pressing plus, you can zoom the timeline in. Now you're going to want to click on the adjustment layer, go to effects, search for transform, and then drag the transform onto the adjustment layer. Keyframe the scale, go forward, keyframe it again, then go back to the first keyframe and zoom it in. You're going to want to keyframe the position at those 2 points. Make sure you position the passer's head in the middle of the frame as I'm doing right now. Now you're going to want to select all the keyframes, right click, hit ease in, and then right click again and hit ease out. To get that cinematic zoom, we're going to play with the keyframes so it starts fast and ends slow. So we're going to push the right handle to the left on both keyframes.
You know how the scripture says,
amazing. Uncheck the composition box and then increase the shutter angle.
You know how the scripture says,
holding Alt to Option, drag it to the right.
Glory. I say this to my church.
Repeat this process again. This time we're going to make a zoom in instead of out. Now click on the arrow to reset the keyframes for position and scale. Go to the final keyframe and increase the scale value, adjust the position accordingly. I'll make sure to ease in and ease out the keyframes for smoothness. Drag the right handle to the left. Do the same for scale. Let's see how it's looking.
What year did that happen?
Fantastic.
It was around AD 33.
Copy the zoom out adjustment clip.
That means Judas would have been.
Move the last keyframes to the right. Move them to the right again so they're at the end. Duplicate the zoom out. Now you're going to want to duplicate the zoom in and place it after.
And then
duplicate the zoom out.
Not going to get out. You know how tormenting it is to be in a place separated from God?
Centralize the pastor's face.
You know how tormenting it is to be in a place separated.
Duplicate the zoom out.
Now you're separated from his grace.
Duplicate the zoom in.
You're tormented. You have a body fit for destruction.
Finally, duplicate the zoom out again.
Wow.
And trim the excess. Now I'm going to spend the next minute color coding everything, whether it's a zoom out or zoom in. So the magenta is just going for the zoom ins.
It was around AD 33, around the year Christ died.
Now we are just going to make sure his face is central in the beginning and the end of each clip.
Around the year Christ died. That means Judas would have been there for 2 millennia.
Once that's done, go to the workspaces icon, click on text-based editing, and then transcribe. Now go into captions and create captions from transcript. And copy my settings. Select one of the subtitles, change the font to Helvetica, new. Centralize the text, increase the font size. Click on the plus, create new style, Name it whatever you want. Select all text, then upgrade caption to graphic. This way it allows for text animations. You may not have to, but I'm just going to trim the start right now. Ensure the text is accurate to the speaker's voice. The reason we duplicate the text and put it a layer above is because we're going to use the crop and make it word by word. Crop so only you is visible. Now we're going to crop no, so we're going to crop the rest of the words, but next one is no. So we're going to crop the right and we're going to crop the left. Like so. Now I'll do the same for how. I like to hide the rest of the tracks so I can see clearly. So crop the right and then crop the left. So how, and then hide the track and do the same for there, where you crop the left only for there. Then grab the shine text from graphic templates and change the text so it says scripture. Size it and position it accordingly. Get another text so we can write say. So get another text, drag it above. And then position it below scripture. And then change the text so it says. Just going to put the safe margins on because I believe it's good to always check.
You know, the scripture says,
and if you need to extend the text so it is as long as it needs to be.
you know, the scripture says after.
Now I'm going to select all the text and I'm going to put it a layer above just so it's easier when I drag images. So a layer above, not 2 layers above, just 1 layer above is fine. Now I'm going to drag my image underneath the text of Judas. Scale the image up so it covers the screen. Ensure there's a gap so we can put an adjustment layer in between. Duplicate the adjustment layer.
It says after Judas committed suicide.
Reduce Judas clip length. Make everything tidy. Drag Son of Perdition image straight to the timeline. Now scale the image up and reposition it. Now you're going to want to drag the paper onto the timeline. Trim the end, and then you are going to want to scale it up as well, just to ensure it covers the screen. Ensure the rectangle mask tool is selected. Now draw a box in the same way I do. Now place the rectangle mask inside the opacity section. Increase the feather. Go to new item, color matte, and name it vignette. Scale the vignette up. Select the ellipse mask tool. Now draw the shape I draw. Now drag the mask underneath opacity. Invert it. Now increase the feather. Go to the rectangle tool and highlight the relevant words. Click on the anchor point and bring the anchor point to the edge of the rectangle. Uncheck uniform scale. Keyframe the scale width. Now go forward in the timeline. Keyframe again. Then return to the original keyframe and bring scale width to 0. Select the keyframes and ease them in and out. Now bring the right handle to the left. Trim the rectangle's clip length so it matches the others.
It was the sun.
Now we're going to get ready to animate the ellipse. Go to the mask, keyframe the position, then go forward, keyframe again, go back, and then adjust the position. Ease the keyframes in and out like we were doing before. Then select the drop down and then bring the right handle to the left. Drag an adjustment clip onto the timeline, shorten it, get a transform, attach it to the adjustment layer. Now scale it in from the first keyframe, then leave the next keyframe out and then keyframe the position and bring it to the top left. Ease in and ease out. And then bring the handle to the left on both keyframes. Stretch the keyframes out.
It was the sun, doomed for perdition. It was the sun, doomed for perdition.
Now get the next image, trim its length, bring it down, change the label colors for all of them, which is what I'm doing. Just quickly. I like to have my text orange. Scale it up, scale it in, adjust it like I'm doing. Then I'm going to bring the captions up like so. Then I'm going to crop the captions so it only shows 2 words at a time. So we and know that. And then Judas didn't. I'm going to nest them so then we can reposition them. So I'm going to reposition it just above where the person is. And then I'm going to scale it up just a little bit as well. I'm going to duplicate the text know that. So I'm going to bring Judas text up. Then I'm going to bring know that up again by holding Alt or Option to duplicate it. Then I'm going to get the pen mask tool, draw around that roughly. Yeah. Then I'm going to go into the top one and I'm going to, or the bottom one rather, and then I'm going to take off the shadow. Then I'm going to go back into the top one, take off the shadow again. Nest both. Now I'm going to reposition it, scale it up, reposition it. Like so. I'm going to go into it and I'm going to just adjust the fill mask area as well as what I believe I'm going to do right now. Yeah. Just do it to your taste. I'm going to change the stroke as well to 1.5, I believe.
So we know that Judas did.
And in a second, I'm going to make sure all these words and the previous nested words are going to be along the same frame, in the same frame. But right now, I'm just going to isolate them. So I'm going to do make it 2. I'm just going to experiment with different looks to see what I like. So right now it has a stroke, but I don't think I'm going to keep the stroke. It's just experimentation at this phase, just to see what we like and what we don't like. Yeah, make sure glory is big and bold, as it's a key word. I think I'm going to make it extra bold italic or bold italic as well. I'm going to extend all the nested sequences because I'm going to make sure all these words are part of the same frame rather than separate frames. I'm going to nest them together. And then I'm going to bring that up and bring it to the right. But I have to bring all the nested sequences and extend them all individually. Now I can extend it to the right. And now I've changed it so that Judas is italicized, but I'm going to probably correct that and make it normal. I'm just experimenting right now. Yeah, I reverted it. I've changed. You guys are more than capable of doing. You don't have to see every single step-by-step process. It's just nice to experiment sometimes with different looks. Yeah, make it to the right.
Know that Judas didn't make it to glory.
Yeah, looks perfect. Looks nice. I say this, so correcting the subtitles.
Say this to my church all the time.
What year did that happen? But I want to highlight some certain words here. So I'm going to bring the shine onto the timeline. And then year is what I'm going to write for the shine. The Mogar is linked in the description if you don't have access to it, because you can't get the shine effect in Premiere Pro. So I'm just going to adjust the what. Then I'm going to adjust the year, reposition it, scale it up. Did that happen? Is going to go beneath, and I'm going to add a question mark as well. Bring it to the right a little bit as well, just for typography's sake.
What year did that happen?
AD 33, and then I'm going to italicize the text because I think it looks better that way if it's italicized. Christ died in all caps. Increase the word died, so it's the same width as Christ, roughly. Size the whole text together, and we're going to get an image of Jesus soon in a second. So I'm just going to take the shadow off. Oh, I put it back on. I don't know why, but you can take the shadow off if you like, but get the image of Jesus on there. Scale it up as we normally do. You guys know the drill by now. Then put Christ died above, and then we're going to probably get the pen mask tool soon. And yeah, so make sure the top stroke is off, and then the bottom text stroke is on and 1.5, I believe. And yeah, we can take the stroke off. I don't know why. Okay, or we can just increase the feathering of the stroke, which looks nice. So yeah. And the top text, we're going to use the pen mask tool. But before that, yeah, we're going to use the pen mask tool. But I'm going to hide the top layer so we can see and draw around Jesus's body. So create this cool mask effect where we can see the words around Jesus, but there's no fill within Jesus. So something like that. So all I did was put the mask in opacity and inverted it, and now I'm adjusting the mask.
Christ died.
Gonna get the adjustment layer.
Christ died.
Place it above the whole text and leave it like it is, and it looks nice. For 2, instead of 4, I'm gonna write 4, and then I'm gonna write 2 millennia. So I'm gonna leave it as 4
and for 2 millennia,
and then 2 millennia. So yeah, something like that. Also, guys, do you prefer this more free-flowing commentary, or do you prefer when I'm breaking it down more so? I'd like to know in the comments below.
2 millennia.
And then I'm going to write 2 millennia again.
Therefore.
Well, but first I'm going to extend the initial 2 millennia, but soon I will write 2 millennia again and again and again and again. And then I'm going to change the color of them as well. So write 2 millennia again. And I'm going to place it on the layer above. Then I'm going to delete that text. Delete that. Place that above. Extend them to the end. Going to write 2 millennia again. And there's one more 2 millennia that I'm missing. So I will be adding that soon, but just match his voice really. So yeah, add a light shade of reddish, maroon, brownish color. And then 2 millennia, scale it up again, make each one consecutively bigger. And then make it a darker red, maroonish color. And then get the final one, scale it up even higher. And then make it a darker red. Like so.
Been there for 2 millennia, and he'll be there for another 2 millennia.
Ooh, it's looking nice.
And another 2.
It's looking nice. Now we just need to get the images. Get their respective images. So yeah, get all the images right onto the timeline. And then we're going to scale the images up. I'm going to add adjustment layers above each and every one of them as well. But right now it's just about scaling them up and position it like the way I position it for correct placement, image placement. But yeah, just copy the adjustment layers, place them in their respective positions.
Be there for another 2 millennia, and another 2, and another 2.
That's nice. Now I'm going to delete those 2 texts, and I'm getting ready to scale up this image, because this is where he says the worm does not die. Congrats, guys. We're approaching the end of this tutorial of part 1. Part 2 will be coming out very shortly. Let's just have a look at the end result.
You know, the scripture says after Judas committed suicide, he was the son doomed for perdition. So we know that Judas didn't make it to glory. I say this in my church all the time. I said, what year did that happen? It was around AD 33, around the year Christ died. That means Judas would have been there for 2 millennia, and he'll be there for another 2 millennia, and another 2, and another 2.